What's up, guys? Welcome back to Goat Rodeo Gaming. Today we're gonna test out the hump yard. I'm running solo today. I have a really bad mountain internet, so unfortunately the other half of Goat Rodeo Gaming is not gonna be able to join us, but we're gonna go test it out, hump some cars, see if they roll out of the yard or not. I did make a bowl, so theoretically they shouldn't, but we're gonna find out. Our new mogul, in case you didn't see episode 3 of a real conductor, please. Didn't know, I'm a former Union Pacific Conductor. Love the game. Got any railroad questions? Shoot them in there. And yeah, just letting this bad boy heat up a little bit. If you didn't see the last episode, we explained how we like to troll all the WWE superstars.
Yeah.
We named this engine the Hulkster. Yeah, good old Terry, Mr. Hulk Hogan. There you go. So this, guys, is what you would call a blind shove on the railroad. Because we don't have anybody down at the other end telling us what's going on. So, not ideal. But, it's just a game, so whatever. Come on, big boss. There we go. It hasn't warmed up all the way, but I want to go. Love the sound of this engine. Looks good. Runs good. The last time we had a yard over here. Got some more tracks and a turntable over here. So what we decided to do is to consolidate. To move everything over to our new big yard where it's got everything we need. Unfortunately, I don't know if we'll be able to play this together, this map, because ever since I built the hump yard, it doesn't seem like my internet can support both of us. I don't know if it's a problem with the game or just my internet. If you know anything about this, let me know in the comments. But we did start another one, so hopefully we'll do both. The new railroad's basically a new and improved version now that we've gotten our feet wet in this game, so in case this map doesn't work out anymore, that one should. He's the host now. He's got great internet, so yeah, we'll see what happens. But we'll at least just have some fun with this yard, and it'll be here, so if we can use it. So it's too bad you can't put a nice big face of Hulk Hogan right here with this shiny forehead. I feel like that would look pretty sweet. Maybe like right here on the front too. Maybe one day. Beginning of this yard's right around the corner, so I'll give you guys a tour of it as we go by, and we'll come in on the other side. Right here's our switching lead coming out of the yard, so you have some room to switch. Goes down quite a ways. This is our north side yard entrance. Right there we got a 4-track departure yard, 4-track bowl for humping. You can kind of see the bowl. And right here we got a 4-track receiving yard. And the hump is right over here. We're gonna run around and then come in this way. Then we got just another yard entrance in case we need it. We're coming up on the south side yard entrance pretty quickly. Right, so we're lined up going in there. So what I did is we got a nice Y. Not a nice Y at this end of the yard would be good. So you can come out and go south towards Oil Field Ironworks Refinery. You can come out and go north back to the freight depot. So this seems to be one of the better spots for building a good size yard. It's flat and it's pretty wide. Can't make one too much bigger than the one I made. Want to know where it's at? It's right around the bend of this little hill and into that flat spot before the freight yard. So not bad. Got myself a turntable. So built some engine storage there. Come down over here. Lined. That's lined. Nope, that one is not lined. Wow, got my switches going today. Usually I suck. This is where it kind of splits into the meat of the yard. Off to the right's the departure yard. Off to the far left track goes into the receiving yard. Then I built this nice kind of run through track, a little shortcut for light power or whatnot. And up here we got our hump. This is where it starts to descend right here. About 2% grade down the flats. Then it goes back up for a short 2% grade on the other side as well. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shove around. Once the train looks like it's pretty close to the hump, I'm going to uncouple each car and then I'm just going to start shoving them over the hill at a slow speed and we'll see what happens. My idea behind this yard was I want to run one big solid train that's got all the different rail cars, and you just basically make your rounds. You go through the main line, you go to industries, pick up, set out, and then you just kind of go all around keeping all your cars with you. It might not be the smartest way for speed or whatnot, but you're always on the move. You're always turning things in. So we'll see if we get there, because then this yard would make sense, because then you'll might need to store some cars. You might need to do some sort of yard jobs, kind of deal with that. So that's the idea. It's basically what the UP does these days. They just combine trains, and it works terribly for them. But hey, it's a game. I think that would be a fun concept to try rather than running what they call unit trains, where you just have one commodity or just a couple commodities. So, but we'll see. We'll test it out, and yeah, like I said, we're building a bigger and better railroad on his server. So that's probably where we'll be heading from now on. So just keep an eye out for that. More episodes to come. If you got any suggestions, throw them in there, man. We're open-minded. We like to try stuff. See the rear end of our train. It's definitely making its way around like I thought. This Y on this end of the Y is definitely tighter than I would have liked, but what are you gonna do? It's not extreme, but I would have liked it get to be more gradual. But it is what it is. I can always reconfigure the tracks out here, maybe make them come off more to the left. We'll keep on shoving. Wow, look at that. He's on straight rail for quite some ways, and we're just meeting up with the rear end. That's pretty cool. Taking it slow just because I know the other half of Go Rodeo Gaming on his new railroad, he was making some tight turns and it was actually derailing the train and the locomotive. So this is pretty tight for how many cars we have in this big unit. So figured better safe than sorry. Plus, I like taking things slow. I'm in no rush. We're just doing a test video, see what the hump will do. I think that'll be really interesting. I think I'll hump, I don't know, 5-10 cars into one track, and then maybe line it for a different track, and then see what that does. Yeah, so you can see, pretty tight curve. Really kind of pushing it. This is as tight as I'd ever want to go. Yeah, we'll hump these log cars into one track, and we'll probably split these stakes into two. I think that sounds like a good plan. So I'm just gonna Basically uncouple just the left couplers. Leave the right ones in their place so we're ready to go. Easy to connect back up. One side already be loaded. Now if these cars do roll out of the yard, which they could, one thing I was thinking of doing is maybe tying the handbrake 30-40%, and you know, they'll still roll because the handbrakes seem pretty weak on this game at the moment. The cars will still roll, but it'll just assist it to not roll out of the yard. So we're gonna jump in, we'll hump those cars. Already got lined up on the hump. We'll take it slow, because that's what a hump does. Another thing I'd like to see, devs, is it'd be nice if you exit the cab, if it would keep the regulator, the throttle, whatever you want to call it. I know when you exit the cab, it goes to 0 and then throws brakes on 100%, which I understand why. I mean, you don't want your train running away, but it'd be nice to be able to do these slow speeds. You know, you can put this thing on, 43 with this amount of weight and let it do its thing. And then in the meanwhile, you could jump out, run up, line some switches, just make solo easier. I could be up on the hump right now checking it out. So, just an idea. Not sure if anybody else would agree with that. Just something that kind of came to mind. Because it's very difficult to play this game solo. And obviously the idea is for it to be online, hence the name. But seems like the majority of people do play solo on here, so just trying to find a sweet spot because I don't want to be shoving these things over the hill too much. On a nice gradual speed. I think when I worked the hump at West Colton, the speed was 1.7, 1.8. So, not very fast. Now, we're using a remote control, so RCL locomotives. So I had to do everything. I had to run the locomotives with the box strapped to my vest, so remote control. And I had to pull the pins. It was get a little hectic, not too difficult, but mainly just annoying. West Colton was interesting because it was should be going downhill by now. I might still have the brakes on those cars, so let's go inspect really quick. So getting back to talking about the hump at West Colton, it is basically a gravity hump. So most hump yards, they go up like this and then they come back down. West Colton, the receiving yard was up high, the bowl was way down low. So yeah, it was kind of tricky because you'd get these 18,000 ton cuts of cars. We have SD40s doing it. You have to put them in dynamics to hold it back, and it didn't work too well, man. You had those heavy cuts, a lot of stopping and starting. Maybe I do have to get rid of these things. Maybe I do have to start shoving a little harder on it. We'll just get rid of everything. Okay, this one came apart, so yeah, try pulling pins on the hump for 12 hours all night. You'll fall asleep walking. It's ridiculous. If you haven't seen, guys, I've been reviewing for other railroad games, basically train simulators, to see if they have accurate physics, right? Because it'd be cool if a train simulator is actually running like running a train, is what it's supposed to be. So go take a look at those. By the time this video comes out, I should have Train Simulator 2022 reviewed and Trains a New Era. I just kind of run through and give you my thoughts and if I think they're legit or not, pros and cons. So, on my quest to find the most accurate train simulator. Because running a train is cool, man. I was able to do it several times, even as a conductor, and it's one thing I wish I would have been able to do is go into engine service, but the opportunity never presented itself. Oh yeah, we got cars rolling. Sweet. There they go. Okay, so you just gotta get over the hill a little bit. Keep at this speed. They look like they were taking off, no problem. So this track right here, that's another switching lead. So basically you can come out of the receiving yard with a cut of cars, pull into here, and then start shoving it over the hill. Hey, it's working. I'm happy with that. Oh yeah, look at that. As we're losing cars, we're picking up a little bit of speed. And they're not running too fast, which is nice. Because cars, they don't really take off right away in real life. Wait. Now the question is do they stay in the bowl? That's what I'm interested in. That's the whole point of a bowl. Keep the cars in there. We don't got any skates, which is what West Colton has. And a lot of hump yards is on the other end of the bowl. They have what they call skates, and they basically catch the cars there. So basically a metal device that lays in between the track, maybe, I don't know, 20 feet long, and it just squeezes the cars, it squeezes the wheels on the cars. So it slows it down and catches them. So it's pretty cool. Alright, so we are done humping these cars. So let's go check her out. Hey, look at that. We'll go to this track next time. Oh, here they come back down. Ha ha ha. Hey, okay, so let's see how far they roll back up. Alright, I like that. This seems pretty legit. See what happens when they run back together. So, what it seems like is... Don't hit that switch, please. What it seems like to me is that 30% brakes would probably be perfect. Because it'd keep it out to the yard. Okay, now why is this one rolling back? So this one made it over. Why are you rolling back, bud? It just stops. It's on the hump. Huh. There we go. Okay, that was a little weird. Not sure what's going on there. Any other cars that rolled out? Nope. Sweet. And here comes the rest of the cut. They'll probably just keep going back and forth until I do something about it, which I'll do right now. So I'm pretty happy with this experiment so far. I don't know what the deal is with that, so what I would probably do, guys, is if you plan on humping cars in the one track, like a cut of cars like this, maybe on the first car set a 50% brake. Okay, and then this will be your catcher. This will catch everything else. Everything else can free roll. Then maybe your last car put a 50% brake on there so they don't keep rolling back and forth. Physics aren't exactly 100%, but it doesn't need to be, man. That's not a big deal. So this is what I'll do this time, guys. I'm gonna set, let's go 30%. We'll start light because I want this thing to go. Let's do even less. You never know. Let's go 20, 19, whatever. Come on, bud. There we go. Wow. Come on. What you doing? Huh.
2,000 years later.
There we go. Sheesh. Freaking me out, man.
You are freaking out, man.
I had a great idea for the devs, and it will have nothing to do with helping this game. But hear me out. Here's a cool concept for you for potentially another game that could actually be a little simpler. Create a map about an eighth of the size of this one. Hell, a tenth of the size of this one. It's in an industrial setting, and you basically own a short line railroad. And there's all these different industries you can connect to. So it could be the lower left portion of this map. All these different industries, maybe in a rural setting, and you own a more modern railroad and you connect tracks to the industries like you do in this game, but it's more modern equipment. But basically what you have is like a short line local switcher, and obviously big enough map where you can make your own kind of mainline run to where there's industries down there as well at the other end of the map. But you have all these spur tracks branching off going to industries and smaller map, more buildings. You don't have to put as much trees, much elevation, maybe like a Midwest setting or a bigger inner city setting. And you basically own a short line railroad and you just switch out cars. Maybe you have an interchange yard with a main line at one end of the map with a big railway, and you bring your cars in, and they go, or they unload maybe, and then cars are returned, unloaded or loaded, whatever. I think it would be a great concept for a multiplayer game because then you really need a 2, 3, 4 man crew because you're going to be switching so much cars and you got to keep track of all of it. Which cars go where? Which cars load? Which cars unload? You can buy better locomotives. Maybe you start with like a little switcher, like an SW1000 or something like that. And then you can build up to SD40s or GP40s or all that good stuff. So I thought that'd be a really neat concept because I love this game. Love the Steam engines, but I think a modern kind of version of this, but on a smaller map, more switching, a lot more industries. I think that would be a hell of a lot of fun. I'm sure a lot of you guys would agree. So just an idea, devs. All right, so let's start doing some more, huh? See how this break on the other end works. Oh, we going the right way? I am. I'm backing up. She's rocking. Give her some more juice. And keep in mind, like, if this theoretical game I speak of, you could still build yards and stuff like this if you want. There's some open space. But, yeah, I just think that'd be another aspect. Because the train simulator thing has already been done. The only thing that could be done better is realistic physics. But besides that, I mean, this is a great concept of a game. I love it. I've been waiting for a game like this. Something me and my buddy, the other half of this channel, have talked about for a long time. And yeah, I think that would just be another great addition. Alright, so we got the brakes on this other. It doesn't seem like it wants to roll. Well, maybe brakes don't work. Let me stop. See if it rolls out. Yeah. So, this is why you don't have brakes on the hump in real life, even just a little bit. But I thought I'd give it a try, because like I said, these handbrakes seem a little weak compared to real life. So, we learned that now, and knock these puppies off. You gotta ride this thing down, and maybe tie a handbrake at the other end. You know, this is probably what they had to do back in the day when they first started hump yards, guys, is they probably had a switchman ride this thing down. When you get to the other side of the bowl, he'd start throwing on a handbrake as a catch. You can catch the rest of these cars. So that might be what we'll have to do if we in fact do have a working hump, you know? An idea. That's good enough. So that's, yeah, that's probably what you'd have to do if you guys decide to build your own hump yard with an actual bowl. Oop. Yeah, I got 20 bucks. How about them apples? Let's get after it a little bit here. Yeah, this would be pimp with an engineer and two switchmen, man. Switchman could be lining switches, riding cars out at first to hump it. Conductor could be pulling pins, lining at least the initial switch. That would be an awesome video. Hopefully something we could do in the future if I can get some better internet. Then it'd be legit hump yard status, man. Get old Betsy in here to switch some cars in the different yards. Now these cars aren't one to go yet, like the log cars. I don't believe I have brakes on them. What is this? Yeah, there goes the other cars. Okay, so why didn't it work? Well, the other cars were held up because it derailed. Check this out. Here we go. This is Pro 1800 Switchman status right here. Yacht. See if this car here catches us adequately. Gonna be a slammer. Oh, hey, that did pretty good. Nice. Yeah, so this is what you gotta do. You just gotta have a catcher on the other side. No problem. And then ideally you want to stop it so it doesn't just keep rolling out. Then you'll be coupling up for days. There was some tracks I had to couple up in West Colton in the bowl when you're building outbound trains, and dude, it would take forever sometimes. Sometimes you get really lucky because you got to check the cars because you have a car list. You got to make sure all the cars are in that track that should be. Sometimes you have what we call strangers, which are cars that don't belong there. And every now and again you get lucky. And as you're checking the cars, you're opening up the couplers as you walk by. Right, so sometimes you just shove back and you'd couple up the whole track in one shove. Then you would stretch it so you go back forward, see if the whole track moves, and man, I had that happen a couple times and that made my day. I was like, oh yeah, I got all of it. That's how you do it. And by the way, that's called a trim job. And you work the remotes on that as well. So you're walking around with the box on, doing your thing. It was really fun in the summer when it was like 110, 115, and you're in between all those cars and stuff. Good times. No breeze, hot, searing metal, radiating heat. I don't miss those days, guys. I do not miss those days. But I'm grateful for the experience. So not gonna complain too much. All right, so those things are coming out pretty good. There seems to be a sweet spot. You don't want to go too slow because then they don't really want to go, but you don't want to go too fast. Up, and that one just came to a grinding halt. Wonder what happened there. I lined that switch. Probably one of those invisible walls. I think what I'll do is I'll put the brake on. And we'll go hump into the other state car track. Because I don't want to deal with that. Oh, Nelly. Oh, yes. Right before it. That's what's up. Yeah. Oh, what happened here? Okay. Yeah, it looks like an invisible wall. That sucks. I don't want to have to redo all this. These switches are on a downgrade, so unfortunately this last track's got a little bit of a kink in it. But you know, it's 1800s bull. I'm sure they were pretty rough. All right, let's finish these things off and then see what else we can do. Now we got a good view of the hump. We can actually see it humping. Get it going a little bit, throttle off. I think some wheel slip would be good. Devs are listening. It is a real thing. Alright, what is going on now? Oh, this is fun playing solo. Alright, let's see if we can hump these 3 cars without any issues. That's my goal. I was hoping to have a decent cut of cars hump. That'd be pretty cool, but what are you gonna do? Come on, dude. You got 3 cars and you're... Okay, so there's a little bit of wheel slip, but... Wow. See, in this case, I'd like to see that adjusted a little bit. Because it would not change directions like that in real life. You would just keep sliding and you chew through the rail. Wow, this is smooth right here. Trying to find a sweet spot, it's just not wanting to go. Alright, now you're wanting to take off, so let's throttle off, buddy. There we go. Alright, well, hey, it's working. It's not as smooth as I would have liked, but hey, that's what you get when you're testing something out that hasn't been done. But hey, it worked. Oh, man, whatever. And this is what you get in most bold tracks. You get cars that don't couple. And you gotta walk this whole thing. Check the car numbers. Yes, I know our railroad isn't on there. We didn't know about that right away. Our new and improved railroad's got car numbers and our railroad name. So that's nice. But anyways, you gotta walk these tracks. I'll do a little demonstration. You got your paperwork. You're walking these tracks. As I'm going, obviously you got couplers and you got some pins. Pull up, open up the couplers, pull up, looking at the cars. Alright, we got this car on the list. That's good. That's good. At the same time, I stop. I'll use my box. I'll have the locomotive shoved back, see how many cars we got. I try to couple as many as I can. Then I'll give it a nice big yank and see, oh, this car hasn't been coupled, so I gotta stop, open this, shove back in. Oftentimes you get cross drawbars on center beams, bulkhead flats, box cars with long drawbars. Auto racks are the worst. Having to couple up a track full of auto racks is literally like pulling hair. So, and in the meanwhile, you're walking in between these cars, and right here, there'll be cars rolling in. So they're actively humping, and you're walking right here, checking cars. So it's quite an experience, especially at night. because you can't hear the cars. They're silent. All you see is maybe a shadow rolling in. And all it needs to do is catch your vest, nick you on the corner like this, whoop, and you get sucked in, cut in half. So, it's a doozy. But just can't be complacent, when you're working there. I wasn't a train enthusiast when I was at work because you can't be looking at things. You got to be paying attention to your job. When I play this game, I'm a train enthusiast, I guess you could say. But in real life, you got to be 100% focused. You can't be stargazing at whatever, or else you're gonna get killed, or you're gonna get somebody else hurt, or you're gonna put equipment on the ground. That's the issue with a lot of train enthusiasts that work at the railroad is they struggle with that balance. It seems like of doing their job and kind of stargazing at things that are cool. Which, hey, I get it, but you gotta do your job first. Right here is a bad scenario. A lot of times, these drawbars, they get off to the left or the right, so you got to get in between cars and adjust them. But you just never know if these cars are going to move, and all of a sudden, if they roll in on you, you get coupled up. That's happened plenty of times, and you stay alive until they uncouple you, basically. They bring your family out to say goodbye one more time, and then they uncouple the train, and that's pretty much it, man. You're done. So, it's happened plenty of times. So, yeah, I think that's about it for this video, guys. I'm pretty pleased with how it worked. I mean, it worked how it should have. Few little errors, mistakes, things I tested out. So, if you want to build a hump yard, you definitely need a catcher, which will just be a car on the other end, 100% brakes. Okay, and then you can hump into that track. So I'll leave with this tip. What a real hump yard would do is they leave one or two cars in a track sometimes as a catcher. So let's say you hump all these cars and you start pulling out the tracks, coupling them together. You'll want to leave a car or two behind with the brakes on all the way. So then you already have a catcher in every track. So when you start humping, all you got to worry about is the switches. So that would be my pro tip for if you want to hump cars. Or you could do what I did. Just have somebody write it down, tie the brakes, and then run up. But then you have one less person doing the switches, pulling the pins. So just an idea, guys. But yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, share. We're trying to grow this channel so we can produce greater and better content for everybody. And if you got any ideas, shoot them in there. I like testing this stuff out, applying real life things to this game. So, hope you enjoyed. Hope this wasn't a waste of your time. And, build your own hump yards and send me some videos or some pictures or whatnot. And, yeah, I'd love to see what you guys do. Make something bigger and badder than me, It's only four tracks for each yard, so, hey, go get it. And, let me know how it goes. So, you guys have a good one. We'll see you next time.